Are you ready to get the hydrofacial glow? Loved in 87 countries across the world. It's not a facial, it's a hydrofacial. Now available across the UK. Visit hydrofacial.co.uk to find your nearest location.
Welcome back to Beauty Angels. We've missed you. I've missed Linda, but we are now back. But don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube.
And follow us on Instagram at the.beautyangels. And we have got to put together our great big bundle of stuff because we've got enough followers now that we're giving our prize away.
Yes.
And what have you been up to?
Well, what have I been up to? Well, the last time we saw each other, wasn't that Beauty Uncovered? And we had a really, really good time there. And then I went to the Harley Street Clinic, which is Leslie and Alma's clinic, and they got one in Surrey.
Oh, on your doorstep?
Yes, not quite on my doorstep, 10 miles from me, but you know, closer than London. It's beautiful. It's so nice to know that you've got a treatment centre like the Harley Street Clinic in Surrey. I mean, how amazing is that?
On the visit? No,
I wanted to. I threw myself up the stairs and said, "You please do something," but they said no, not today.
I went to Headsore House for the aesthetics open day, and Lucy had a hydrofacial. I went on the M Cellar.
What's that?
Well, it's like the End Sculpt Neo, but for your ladies' bits, and you sit on it, and it's for people's pelvic floor. It tightens the pelvic floor, and it's supposed to stop having bladder problems and ladies that cough and wee at the same time.
How does it feel?
It feels very, very strange, like nothing else, because you've had the End Sculpt Neo on your stomach. Well, imagine that happening to the muscles on your thingy.
How I mean, you just sit on it.
You just sit on it with your clothes on, and you just try and have a conversation with people like this. But very, very strange. Yes. And they had a treatment called PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma, where they take your blood. I didn't have it done, although I'd love to have it done. They take your blood and they spin it, and they separate the red blood cells and the white blood cells, and then they mix it with hyaluronic acid, and then they inject it back all over the face. We watched a lady have it done, the complete face done, and it increases obviously your collagen, but it's putting back all that plasma into your skin with hyaluronic acid, and it's supposed to have absolutely wonderful results. And obviously you're not going to reject it because it's from your own blood, which was very fascinating with a lovely lady there we watched have that done. And she actually runs a company called Protocol, who do collagen. And she sent me some lovely collagen things, and I'm on the collagen drinks that you have once a day as well. So it was very good. It was a very good event.
I'm going to ask a very personal question.
Yes.
Did it give you pleasure?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say it was pleasurable. I've never had that feeling down there before.
Is it like childbirth? Not like childbirth.
No.
Well, I don't know, I've never had a natural childbirth, so I wouldn't know what happens. With me, it was knock me out the first contraction and wake me up when the hairdresser arrives.
So yours is pretty intact down there then?
Absolutely intact. Honeymoon tight, mine is.
And yours is only an entrance, not an exit. So you might be in both. We've gone off piece. Do you know what? We've got a brand new bit in this show.
We do? What's that?
We do. It's Bob Kahn around the world in 80 treatments.
Yeah.
And he's here with us now.
Hi guys, I hope you're all well. Let me tell you about my week so far. It's been so busy, it's ridiculous. Lake Como for the weekend, taking a whole load of doctors from all over the world, teaching them the very, very latest for facial rejuvenation and body contouring using the best devices on the planet. And then straight to Amsterdam, focusing on the latest launch for the new toxin on the market and also filler innovations. And then a whole week at my own institute, teaching doctors how to lift faces correctly, non-surgically. And in between treating my own patients, listen, I love working hard. I love facial aesthetics and body aesthetics, and passion never sleeps, so why should I?
He gets around a bit, doesn't he?
He does get around a bit. It's very nice, you know, because we have another man coming in.
Oh, who have we got today?
You're going to tell us. It's Marcus.
Oh, it's Marcus Mehta, and he's a UK-based cosmetic doctor and trainer, and he's here with us now. Hello, Marcus.
Hi,
Hello,
Marcus.
how are you?
We met you, didn't we? We met you at Beauty Uncovered. And I must tell our viewers that he's gorgeous. We've decided that we're only going to interview gorgeous men now.
That's
Sorry.
right. We
Sorry, I
interviewed
just
you on
have-
the stage, and it was so informative that we had to have you on the show.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Marcus,
Well,
can you tell our viewers how you started?
so for me, I am a doctor by background. Started off like many aesthetic doctors in the NHS. Did my time in medicine, surgery, did quite a bit of emergency medicine, and then went down the route of general practice. And I was doing general practice for a while. Wasn't finding that I got the sense of job satisfaction I probably thought I would get from doing that job, and actually went looking more down the skin avenue. So I did a postgrad diploma in dermatology, and that really got me interested in the idea and the sort of feeling that I got from the benefit patients got from changes that we could make with their skin, and the improvement in self-esteem that I saw patients have when we help solve their skin problems. And through dermatology, then I got into cosmetic dermatology, and one thing sort of led to another, really. And now I'm full-time in aesthetics and kind of work across the industry, as you mentioned, from training right through to clinics themselves.
So you do fillers and you do Botox, but you're well known for making people look absolutely natural. You say that you want the people to look like they've had a good night's rest and not like they've had filler and Botox. How do you achieve that?
So I think a lot of my ethos really is around replacing volume that people have lost. So putting back what's been lost over the years. And as we age, we lose volume in multiple layers of the face, from the bone, so the skull shrinks as we age. We lose deeper fat in our tissues. Our skin loses elasticity. If you think of it like that, and kind of volume restoration rather than kind of augmentation, you get a much more natural result that actually still makes your patients look like them, but just like you mentioned, a fresher version is how a lot of my patients describe it. Most of my patients don't want to look filled, let's say. They want to look like themselves, and they just want a little bit of a freshen up in certain areas. And if you can do that well with fillers, it can be amazingly rewarding from a patient point of view, but also a practitioner point of view as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of scaffolding, isn't it, for the face? The fillers should be used like that.
If you imagine it, as we age, we do lose that kind of structural foundation in the face. As you mentioned, there's many parts of the face, such as the cheekbones, that decrease with age. We've got our chin that slowly recedes and erodes as age goes on. All the bones start to reabsorb with the aging process. So we're putting back that scaffold and that structure in the face. And that's very much about the type of filler you use to get those kind of results in different layers.
Now tell me, Marcus, I am fascinated. What is the jelly roll treatment?
Jelly rolls definitely have a few different areas in the body and face, really, that people refer to them as. But if you mean the under eye concern, under eyes are, strangely, in the last year, have probably been one of the most popular areas and probably the most asked about treatments that I see in clinic. And when I think about the under eye, you're thinking of really three main concerns. You're thinking of pigmentation, so dark circles is one concern. You've got fine lines and crepiness, so loss of skin elasticity and tone. And then finally, you've got hollowing. And for me, really, when you're thinking of filler, which is really the main treatment you're using under the eyes, you can only really treat hollowing. So when patients come in, they're concerned about excess skin and, say, bags under the eyes, or the jelly roll potentially you can see under the eye, that's really hard to treat with filler effectively. And the problem is, in our industry, there's a lot of hype and a lot of PR done around certain key terms and trends and treatments. In actual fact, there's very few things that really make a difference and really work. And in my clinic, I'm very passionate about offering treatments I believe really make a difference and really genuinely do help. So for the under eyes, filler is a really good treatment, but it's got to be done for the right person at the right point in their life to be able to get a really good outcome.
Can I just ask, I'm sure somebody told me once, and I don't know if it's a myth, can this baggy pocket of fat that you get there be caused by using creams that your body can't break down that people have been putting under their eyes?
Yeah, I've heard that before, but I don't think there's really any scientific evidence to show that that would be the case. I've heard that before, like an accumulation almost of product, but in actual fact, it is unfortunately just due to the aging process and the fact that we get more skin elasticity loss under the eye, and some people get a bit of fat herniation too. So under the eye itself, when you get a bit of a bulge under the eye, that's something that really a surgical option is probably your only one that's going to make a big difference.
Also, the treatments that you do use, the creams, are never to be used under the eyes. They're always to be used here. Why is that?
Well, the under eye skin is some of the thinnest skin that we find in the face particularly, and that's why often you get dark circles there, and that might be due to pigmentation, but sometimes it's due to the fact that the skin is so thin, it's laying on top of a vascular bed, so blood vessels under the skin that can cause it to look a bit darker. So because it's so thin, you've got to be careful about active products there. And so, for example, retinols are very good under the eye, but you've got to be using a product that's specifically designed for the under eye, so a very weak strength retinol in that case. And if you do have a weak strength retinol, you can apply it. I do let my patients apply it right under the lash line as well. That's not a problem, but you just want to make sure that the products you're using aren't too active, let's say, on that very delicate skin under the eyes.
So if somebody's out there and they're thinking, I quite like filler and I quite like Botox, but I'm really unsure, what would you say to them?
It's, in my clinic, my average demographic is between 40 and 70-year-old, generally female, and most patients haven't had treatment before. So they're often in a very similar circumstance as you described, where they're kind of, they're interested in the whole area of aesthetics, but they don't really know where to start with it. And I think the best thing to do really is to go for consultation with someone that knows what they're doing, someone's got experience, someone that's medically trained.
Someone like
basically, come and see me. Basically,
yes, he is. Girls, please go.
It's worth just a visit for the consultation, just to
yeah,
and just to look at his lovely hair. Sorry,
but really, then what you look at doing is having a bit of an explore around what are these treatments and how they work, because most people don't know where is Botox applied, where is filler applied, what can it do. And I think it scares me a bit, because when you think about the industry, I know a lot of people in the industry and a lot of people that probably shouldn't be in the industry, where they're just kind of money grabbing. A lot of times people go for consult and they have this huge array of, I would do this, and kind of pick someone apart. And it's a really horrible experience from what I've heard other patients tell me when they come to see me. They've kind of been almost feel like attacked almost by when they go into a clinic. And it's important you go to someone that can explain the treatment modalities and kind of seeks the patient's concern rather than their own concern. And we mentioned this when I was at Beauty Uncovered, actually, about the idea of being able to have a discussion with the practitioner and you guide them into what areas bother you more than them doing it the other way around. I think
because it's like looking at a picture of somebody, isn't it, and saying, gosh, she doesn't look good in that, this is that, and when actually she feels quite confident, so you can actually make somebody's confidence completely disappear. She might be coming in to say she'd like a little bit of Botox on her forehead, and then somebody says, oh my god, you better get your eyes done and your chin's receding. I mean, it's well, but it's hearing all those things, isn't it? Like the shrinking head and the chin receding and the bones going. I mean, it's just like, what is going on?
I think when you understand what happens with the face and how it changes with time, it helps us then be able to make choices that are putting back what's been lost. And that's a lot about what I do. It's about putting back what's been lost. And if you can do that well, you get a really nice aesthetic outcome.
So do you apply any Botox or fillers for yourself?
No, I don't. So I don't self-inject, and the reason I don't self-inject is I don't think maybe I don't think it's professional personally. So I don't think it's professional to inject your own face yourself. I think, like any medical treatment, this should be administered by a trusted medical professional rather than self-administering. And I think we do see sometimes people, they get a bit carried away with their own self-administered treatments and they kind of go a bit far, because it's easy to do, right, if you've got access to these things and you're able to inject yourself. So no, I don't do that.
But then the second part of this question is, have you had anything done?
You know what?
I don't want to answer.
No, look, I'm happy to answer your question. So I have never had any injectable treatments, right? The problem is when I say this, my patients are like, well, how do you know how it feels? How do you know that it hurts there? How do you know all these sorts of things? I use a lot of medical grade skincare. We have a hydrofacial at our clinic, which I use. I have a hydrofacial with my estheticians that do that, which is a great treatment. But injectables, I haven't, no. But having treated enough people, you get a really good sense as to how things do feel for most people, and so you can help guide people through a treatment, for example. So I don't see it as a negative thing.
And I suppose not. I suppose, you know, if you're a heart surgeon or a brain surgeon, you don't know how that feels either, really, do you?
Exactly. You're completely right. Or an obstetrician, I always say to our patients, you know, I don't have to have had a baby to be able to deliver your baby safely. You know what I mean? So I think that's important.
So are there any fantastic new facial treatments that are coming on the market that are coming to your clinic that we can look forward to?
So I think, you know, having been around a few of the conferences recently in our space, there's a lot of excitement around new injectable products that are coming onto the market. And, you know, that is in the form of, let's say, at the moment we know botulinum toxins or Botoxes that relax the muscles in the face, the frown, forehead, around the eyes typically, lasting around 3 to 4 months. There's new toxins on the market that last a bit longer, so more like 6 months, which is interesting for clients, having to be injected less. And there's also, in the filler world, an evolution towards not just using hyaluronic acid based gel fillers. So hyaluronic acid gel fillers make up probably 90% of the UK market of what's injected, and they're very good because they're safe, they're reversible, you can dissolve them, which is great. The problem is with hyaluronic acid gel fillers is they don't stimulate, they don't change anything in the skin structure. They literally add volume and create that until they're broken down, which takes, let's say, 9 to 18 months. So a lot of the new fillers on the market are kind of hybrid fillers, where you're getting this mix of hyaluronic acid gel with stimulatory products. So a product called calcium hydroxyapatite, which stimulates your body to make more collagen and more elastin and more hyaluronic acid itself. So these are like the new innovative new products where they're kind of cross-mixing traditional fillers with these stimulatory products. And so you're getting a result that not only looks good on the day and you get that volume replacement, but you're also then getting a longer term benefit of it stimulating your own body to make more of the good stuff. So that's quite exciting in our industry at the moment.
That is exciting. I look forward to that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's very interesting that the Botox thing, that, you know, to last longer, because that is the only problem with it. I mean, I think of all the treatments that is, because that's so brilliant, isn't it? I mean, it really does. It was a game changer, I think, in the cosmetic industry. Botox is just fantastic. But that's the only problem with it, is that you've got to keep getting it redone.
Absolutely. And people, you know, I say to patients, look, if the patients are new, it's going to last you 3 months. You're going to want to come back at 3 months if you want a good result. And I use Botox, the original Allergan product, and it's still 3 months is when you're kind of going to be at the point where if you want to maintain a very strong result, you're going to want to be back. Patients think they're going to have it and then suddenly they're going to be really good until 3 months and suddenly it will drop and they'll get the movement back. But actually it's very gradual. For anyone watching this that's new to the whole aesthetics industry, you know, you're talking even like 8, 9, 10 weeks, you're going to start having some movement showing back. For example, if you had a very smooth forehead, you'll start seeing some movement, and that is the issue, like you mentioned, Debbie.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, that has been so wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really enjoyed that, didn't we, Debbie?
Yeah, we did. And come back and see us soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would love to be back on the show. I've enjoyed it. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks,
we love seeing you. Bye, darling. Bye.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Oh, isn't he gorgeous? I mean, that's not what we're supposed to say, is it?
No, but you would want to go and visit the doctor, wouldn't you, if he looked like that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
He's
very
lovely.
I'm looking forward to that new stuff coming on the market.
Yeah, I love Botox. I mean, Botox is a fantastic treatment. It really is.
We are going to go to Planet D now.
Ooh.
Follow me, I'll take you to where you wanna be.
Hello again, and welcome back to Planet D. We've got some very exciting content today, and it's from the wonderful Debbie Forsyth, who's an expert on many things, one of which is the menopause. Debbie, it's so lovely to see you. Welcome to Planet D. Tell me, Debbie, what happens to our bodies in the menopause?
Well, it's actually quite simple. Really what's happening is our bodies have run out of eggs. So our ovaries are not operating as they would normally. And that means then that all of the hormones that made us young, fertile women, so our progesterone or estrogen or testosterone and many others, reduce their functionability. So when our estrogen balance changes, even minutely, it can affect everything in our bodies. So although it's actually a simple passage of time, event. It has a cascade of events on how we feel, generally from our sort of mid-40s right through to our mid-50s when we go through that period of menopause.
Do you know, nobody's really described it as well as that to me ever before. What sort of food should we be eating in the menopause?
Food is nourishment for our bodies. So when we're in menopause, we really have to understand that that's probably the most important time bar pregnancy, that we need to provide good nutrition for our bodies. So we should be having healthy foods. So when going menopause, we have to be careful that we try as much as possible to eat organic or grass-fed cattle and beef and eggs and chickens and stuff. Because if we take in any more estrogen artificially with our foodstuffs, it's going to affect how we feel. All dairy products, if they come from a farm factory, will have been fed estrogens to make them bigger and fatter, and they're kept pregnant. So if we have a lot of milk and we're going through menopause and we have extreme symptoms, we need to think about what we're eating has eaten.
Yes.
So the usual sort of things, healthy foods, lots of grains, green vegetables, try and avoid alcohol as much as you can because our liver can't cope with it. But generally just think about what you're eating to nourish and support your body during this transition phase.
Thank you. That's brilliant advice. What sort of supplements should we take?
Very important that we have some vitamin D, because vitamin D is a hormone that also supports our other hormones. Magnesium is wonderful if you're having a problem with sleepless nights or waking up in the middle of the night. It's a relaxing supplement. That's really important. When you're looking after your skin, you want to have some vitamin A, some vitamin C, and some vitamin E. Those are all good nourishments for your skin. So those are the top ones, really, that I would suggest everybody should consider having. I try to keep it simple. We could add and add, but those core ones will help support our bodies during this transition.
Are there any sort of natural remedies for things like hot flushes or, you know, night sweats, all those things we get throughout the menopause?
Really, really good question. I think it comes down to common sense, because one thing I've learned about menopause, no two women will ever experience the same thing. So the triggers for each one will be different. But hot sweats, night flashes, avoid smoking. It really is a terrible trigger for hot sweats. Avoid spicy foods. Anything that's going to create extra heat in your body, you want to avoid. Alcohol, sadly, again, in menopause, our liver is busy working with the changing hormone levels. So when you add a toxin in, which sadly alcohol is, then it gets compromised and it can't cope with both. So if you drink a lot of alcohol when you're going through your hot phase, you will find you end up with a really flushed phase. You will fall asleep quickly and wake up in the middle of the night with sweats and panic attacks. Leave it out, cut it down. It's just sadly not going well with menopause. Sugar. We are not designed to have sugar. It really is quite toxic for our bodies, particularly in menopause, because it will cause brain fog and confusion and forgetfulness. So if you can reduce as much sugar out of your diet, you will find a natural way to start helping you get through and transition through the problems that you have.
Oh, wow. What about honey? Can we use that?
Oh, yes, you can have honey. Honey and herbs, fabulous.
Thank you so much. I think you should come back to carry on talking about this, because
I would love to.
We need to talk about the skin, and that's for next time. But thank you so much today. It's so lovely to see you on Planet D.
And you too. Lovely. Thank you for having me, Planet D.
Oh, thank you for coming. Bye.
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 So I don't really have to worry about any of that, because I've kind of been through the menopause and I've had a hysterectomy and I'm on HRT. So I'm okay at the moment. What about you?
Well, no, I mean, I obviously have been through the menopause, but I didn't get any symptoms at all. I suppose I did get brain symptoms, like I don't know what I'm doing, but physically I didn't have any symptoms, and my mother didn't either. So I think it's a kind of hereditary thing, you know. And I know I'm really, really lucky. I was probably the same age as my mother, sort of early 60s when it happened, which is quite late, isn't it? Really,
it's very late. Yeah, I had a year hell with it, really, trying everything from patches to tablets to all sorts of things, and I couldn't remember a thing. I really went through it, and I went to the doctor. He said, well, why are you struggling? Just go on HRT. And it changed my life. I was back to me in about 2 weeks. When I had the hysterectomy, I said to the doctor, I suppose I've got to come off it now. And he said, no, the benefits outweigh any risk that there is from it. And I don't have breast cancer history in my family, although I've had lots of lumps removed. They've never been cancerous. So he said, no, you know, with osteoporosis and all the other things that go with aging, it will help. And my father died of Alzheimer's, and it does apparently help with Alzheimer's in women as well. So, you know, there's lots of positives with HRT, although I know that it's difficult to get hold of at the moment and some doctors aren't prescribing it. But anyway, I've had a wonderful show.
Oh, what fun we've had. What fun.
19
and also,
now.
yeah, it's because we've got our competition for, you know, after 500 subscribers on YouTube, we wanted to have a giveaway, which we will do, and we will actually do it on Instagram. So keep checking Instagram, and if you're not following us on Instagram, please follow us, because you could be the lucky person who wins a fantastic bunch of goodies from the Beauty Angels.
Yes. So until next time, like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram, and we will see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.